Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tia Joy and it is a blessing to have you. I pray that all of you are having an amazing day or night whenever it is the time that you're watching this video. Forgive me if my eyes look a little droopy and my voice, I sound a little stuffy because I have a cold, okay? But it's not going to stop me from being obedient and coming to give this word. Amen. So, the Lord had given this unto me and it took me to John chapter 9, okay? And that is when Jesus heals the blind man, okay? I'm going to read the whole entire chapter 9 to you, and then I'm going to give you the revelation in which the Lord had given unto me, okay? So we're going to already pray before coming on here, so I'm going to jump straight into reading, okay? Now, as Jesus passed by, he saw a man who was blind from birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered, Neither this man nor his parents sinned, but that the works of God should be revealed in him. I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. When he had said these things, he spat on the ground and made clay with the saliva, and he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay. And he said to him, Go, wash in the pool of Siloam, which is translated sent. So he went and washed and came back seeing. Therefore the neighbors and those who previously had seen that he was blind said, Is this not he who sat and begged? Some said, This is he. Others said, He is like him. He said, I am he. Therefore they said to him, How were your eyes opened? He answered and said, A man called Jesus made clay and anointed my eyes and said to me, Go to the pool of Siloam and wash. So I went and washed and I received sight. They said to him, Where is he? He said, I don't know. They brought him who formerly was blind to the Pharisees. Now it was Sabbath. Now it was a Sabbath when Jesus made the clay and opened his eyes. Then the Pharisees also asked him again how he had received his sight. He said to them, He put clay on my eyes, and I washed, and I see. Therefore some of the Pharisees said, This man is not from God, because he does not keep the Sabbath. Others said, How can a man who is a sinner do such sign? And there was division among them. They said to the blind man again, What do you say about him because he opened your eyes? He said, He is a prophet. But the Jews did not believe concerning him that he had been blind and received his sight until they called the parents of him who had received his sight. And they asked them, saying, Is this your son, who you say was born blind? How then does he now see? His parents answered them and said, We know that this is our son, and that he was born blind. But what means he now sees, we do not know, or who opened his eyes, we do not know. He is of age, ask him, he will speak for himself. His parents said these things because they feared the Jews, for the Jews had agreed already that if anyone confessed that he was Christ, he would be put out of the synagogue. Therefore his parents said, He is of age, ask him. So they again called the man who was blind and said to him, Give God the glory, we know that this man is a sinner. He answered and said, Whether he is a sinner or not, I do not know. One thing I know, that though I was blind, now I see. Then they said to him again, What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes? And he answered them, I told you already, and you do not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you also want to become his disciples? Then they reviled him and said, You are his disciple, but we are Moses' disciples. We know that God spoke to Moses as far we know that God spoke to Moses, as far as this fellow, we do not know where he is from. The man answered and said to them, why, this is a marvelous thing that you do not know where he is from, yet he opened my eyes. Now we know that God does not hear sinners, but if anyone is a worshiper of God and does his will, he hears him. Since the world began, it has been unheard of that anyone opened the eyes of one who was born blind. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing. They answered and said to him, you were completely born in sin, and are you teaching us? And they cast him out. Jesus heard that they cast him out, and when he had found him, he said to him, do you believe in the Son of God? He answered and said, who is he, Lord, that I may believe in him? And Jesus said to him, you have both seen him, and it is he who is talking with you. Then he said, Lord, I believe, and he worshipped him. And Jesus said, for judgment I have come into this world, that those who do not see may see, and that those who see may be made blind. Then some of the Pharisees who were with him heard these words and said to him, are we blind also? Jesus said to them, if you were blind, I'm sorry. And Jesus said to them, if you were blind, you would have no sin. But now you say we see, therefore your sin remains. Thank you for sitting with me through that. It was just very important that I read the whole chapter 9. Now I'm going to give you the revelation, what the Lord gave unto me. We'll go back, okay? So Jesus passed by and he saw a man that was blind. These are my notes now that I'm reading from. He was blind from birth. Okay? And what the Lord gave unto me was, this is a man who was born blinded with like a cloak over his eyes, or I think it's part of the like amniotic bag, if I'm saying that right. This was a man who was born with that, okay, over his face, over his whole entire face. Um, from birth up until his encounter with Jesus, he was not able to see. See, see meaning he was not able to see things for what they actually were for. He could not see things in its true, authentic form. Okay? So again, this was a man, okay, that was born with a cloak, or what they will call like part of the amniotic bag with the baby is carried in, was born with that over his face. Okay? And so since he was born with that since birth, he was not able to see things in its true authentic form. Okay? And when the Pharisees had asked Jesus, okay, did this man sin, or did his parents sin of the reason why he was born blind? Jesus answered him no. And what I got from that was, this was like something that was on his bloodline, something that like ancestors or something did, practicing in divination or did something, okay, on why this could have taken place, okay. And I was getting like um, that could be the thing, or like Jesus has said, um, I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no one can work. He says, neither this man nor his parents sinned, but that the works of God should be revealed in him. Okay, so the way that the Lord made me see it is that he was doing this too, because this is what he was brought to do, that God sent him to do the works in this man, so they could see how glorious God is, right? So that he can get the glory. And also, I was getting it in another way as, like I just explained, that it was not a doing. It couldn't have been a doing from him, because he was blinded since birth, and it was nothing his parents had did. Okay, that this could have been something on the bloodline. Okay, some type of curse. Okay. Then it says, okay, I read that. And then I got this could be a man that is homeless. And the reason why I got that this could be a man that is homeless is because where part it says in First John, John 9:8 says, therefore the neighbors and those who previously had seen that he was blind said, is this not he who has sat and begged? What the Lord gave that unto me is that this is a homeless person. Like this is a person who lives on the street. Okay. And when people had seen that this man was no longer in the state that he was in, okay, now this could be an actual blind man, okay, but again, the way that the Lord gave it unto me and the revelation that I caught for it is that this was a man who was spiritually blind. Okay, spiritually blind, and whatever that took place, the encounter with him and the Lord, he was not able to see things in its true, authentic form. Okay, and people noticed this obviously because of his appearance, the way he carried himself is different than what they known him to look like and different than what they know him to carry himself like. Okay. So again, therefore the neighbors and those who previously had seen that he was blind said, is this not he who sat and begged? This is a homeless man, somebody that was on the streets that may have begged, okay, for change or food or what have you. Okay. And then this could take place on a Saturday because they said it was a Sabbath, which is the Saturday. Okay. People would question the man on how he had been healed and delivered. There will be some who believes and some that will not. People will want to know how this one blind man feels about Jesus. People will question this man whether or not something took place until they are giving proof. Okay? There will be some type of proof that will be given unto them. Okay? There will have been witnesses that can attest to this man being healed because they knew, because of the man's new outlook on life. Okay? Again, people will witness this man again, as I said, uh, that he's actually telling the truth of his encounter with Jesus. Okay? Because the way that he talked, um, I'm getting this was like an angry man because he was spiritually blind. He was always angry. He was always angry, okay, and argumentative. And once this took place with this man, or it is going to take place with this man, he will no longer act in such ways, if that makes sense. Okay, people will continue to ask so many of them of the same questions, whereas the man will question them and say something to the effect like, "Do you want to know Jesus and follow him?" It made me laugh because as the Pharisees kept on questioning um, the man who was once blind and now can see, the Pharisees kept on questioning him to the point he's like, "Well, you must want to follow Jesus. You must want to be one of his disciples." Um, and I just thought that was hilarious because he like, "What is the reason for you guys to continue to keep asking me the same old questions? I'm continue to keep giving you the same old answers." So this man, or this could be for one more than one man. That's what he would to the people who keeps on questioning him, that is the type of attitude he would have about it. Like, what, why do you keep on asking me all of these questions? You must want to know Jesus and you must want to follow him. Or in other words, won't you get to know Jesus and follow him and let him show you and tell you. Okay? So God, this is a man that prayed to God and for his eyes to be open. I'm even getting like a kingdom spouse or what people call kingdom spouses, which is a God ordained spouse. Okay, like a wife praying. I also got that. I also got that this could be for a God ordained spouse, like a wife that stood in position to pray that her kingdom spouse eyes be open. Okay, that he would no longer be spiritually blind. Okay. Now that Jesus had done this miracle in this man, Jesus questioned whether he believed that he is the Son of God. This man questions Jesus of why he should believe, and Jesus says, I am him. The person believed and worshiped him. So once the man had this encounter with Jesus, okay, and that now his spiritual eyes was open, he believed, okay, because he knows that this was Jesus. He knows that this was the Lord's doing. Um, so okay, so I'm going to go to John 9:39. And Jesus said, For I have come into this world that those who do not see may see, and that those who may be made. Wait, let me read it one more time. And Jesus said, For judgment I have come into this world, that those who do not see may see, and that those who see may be made blind. And I just thought that was very, very interesting, because there is judgment on the whole entire earth. On the whole entire world, and those who are blinded are being made to see. So those who are spiritually blinded, right, are being made to see, and those who can see are being made to be blinded, like given over to a reprobate mind. Okay, and what the Lord had gave unto me is those who were spiritually blinded. He is coming to bless them so that they could actually see, right? And those who are actually see are being made blind. And what that meaning is, those who actually could see, right, but chose to continue to live in sin are given over to a reprobate mind. Okay, because the Lord had warned them, over and over and over again to turn away from their wicked ways, to turn away from sin. And they weren't spiritually blind to where they couldn't see or know exactly what was taking place. They knew, and they still chose to operate out of unclean spirits. They still chose to give themselves over to the enemy. Okay. And then I'm going to read 9:40. Then some of the Pharisees who were with him heard these words and said to him, Are we blind also? 41. Jesus said to them, If you were blind, I'm sorry, I laugh at this part all the time. And it's not a laughing matter, but okay. Jesus said to them, If you were blind, you would have no sin. But now you say, We see, therefore your sin remains. And that's because Jesus, like, no, now, you know, because y'all, judgment is upon y'all. Now it's like all of a sudden you want to have a change of heart, but you've been given multiple times to change your ways. So you were able to see, and you still didn't walk in truth. You still walked in sin. So now that you know that your time is up, don't try and act as if now, oh Jesus, y'all get what I'm saying. That part just cracked me up all the time, because the Lord is funny. For those of y'all who know, and I didn't always know this, right? Like for the last few years, for like 3 years, my walk has been really strong, and I didn't always know this. This is why I just love my relationship with the Father, because He is so funny. Like, He has a serious side. When it's time to get serious, He have an angry side. If anybody is coming up against His children, or walking in disobedience, right? But the Lord has like a silly side. The Father has like a really funny side. And I be cracking up. Those of y'all who know. And like when I discovered that, or when I should say, when the Lord showed me that, all of these different sides of Him, it just made me so excited. I'm like, well, we are made in His image. Like, if we have all of these different ways about us, right? Like, hello, where did it come from? But I just love that about the Father. He cracks me up. I'm telling y'all, and I think y'all can understand. But yeah, I just had to throw that in there. Um, Let me see if I wrote anything else. Okay, so I put. Jesus tells some of the Pharisees that because they see their sins will remain, this is because they were not blinded and chose to act out of sin and continue knowing it is wrong. But for this man, he was blinded from birth and couldn't see his sinful ways. Therefore, he has been healed and delivered, and once was blind, now he can see. Okay? Blinded, meaning, okay, I was about to read something that I already read. So, I hope this makes sense to you guys. This is what the Lord gave unto me, and I just thought that was beautiful. So this could be um this can be for more than one man, but this man was born blind. Okay, like I said, it could be he actually was really born blind. But when I said with the Lord, because that's what scripture says, but we all know that we don't place God in a box, and we begin to sit with the Lord and go over the word. He began to speak to us and give us these revelations on what he is speaking to us in this moment. And what I got from that, what the Lord gave unto me, is this was a man who was not born physically blind, right? He was born with like a cloak over him, meaning that he was spiritually blind from birth. And from infant on up to his manhood, okay, he was spiritually blind. And this is a person who, like I said, will always have problems with attitude, very attitude about himself, very angry, um, very toxic. Um, didn't know like why these things was going about. Didn't know like some of the time this is how he would act, right? Because um, he was spiritually blinded. He couldn't see things in its true, authentic form. So I just thought this was a wonderful, wonderful word. Um, I'm only coming to give the message. Take this word back to the Lord and sit with the Lord and let him give you revelation on who this word is for. I'm just coming to deliver the message and be obedient. Um, but I just thought this was such a cool word because it's true. It happens. We even encountered people that once, you know, our walk with the Lord, and he began to heal and deliver us and prune us and do all those things in us, and our spiritual eyes become open. We know when somebody else's spiritual eyes are not open, right? Because, like the word says, we look at them by their fruit. Their actions are not one who are operating in out of a spiritual lens that can see things for what it's truly for. It's like something is wrong, something is off with this person. So I just always think it's such a blessing when somebody is given spiritual eyes to see. Um, God is so good. So I hope I explained this word. I feel good about it because usually if I don't feel good about it, I will literally erase the whole video, guys, literally, and go back and record it as many as times as I feel, because messages that we give, we need to make sure that we don't add anything to it or take anything away from the Lord's words and what he has given unto us to say. But whoever this word is for, congratulations. Congratulations. It's such a beautiful thing for spiritual eyes to be open. It helps a great deal. It really does. But I love you guys so very much. Until then, stay blessed, stay focused, and stay obedient. I'll see you guys next time.